Hello there. This is Madeline from Madeline's Craft Room, and I am from Parksville, BC, Canada. And I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator who loves to come every week with a Facebook Live, but I also then turn it into a video for YouTube because I know there's many of you who are not on Facebook. So that way you can get inspired as well. And that's always my goal, to be able to inspire you. And I love to be able to create and oh boy, it's especially more fun when you can do it with others. And last week, I actually showed you, and we didn't make a card, but I showed you a whole bunch of cards that I received in a swap that I did with online inclusive products. And so that's what speared this one on, because each week I try to do something different. And this was a fun fold that, look at how that folds. Isn't that ever cool? This one was made by Ink and Sparkle Stamping with Sue. And so we are going to change up the color and give you some more ideas of how to be able to use this fun fold. So if you're catching me live, be sure to tell me you're there. And if you're catching the replay, do say hello. And if you're new to me, let me know where you're from. It's always so fun to see where everybody's coming from. So thank you for joining me, and here we go. So you can see this particular one was using one of the new, I think it's called Thankful Garden, that Sue made. And I just love how she's used the designer paper. And you can see we've got, actually, she has 3 different patterns. I'm going to show you with 2 patterns. So the pieces that we need are here. So I've got the measurements and I will tell you what they are. The first big piece is, of course, the card base. And the card base is 11 inches, and this is by 5.5. And then we've got a few score lines. So you want to score it at 4.25 and 5.5 and 6.75. And when you're able to get those score lines, of course, then what we need to do is just score each of the lines. So we're just going to fold these in nice and firm. And that's our card base. So we're going to do one more thing to the card base, but we're going to just get our other piece. So this other piece is 4.25 by 5.5. Excuse me. And we are actually going to cut this on a diagonal. Now, when we're doing this one, just going to show you here. We want this flap here for the inside. That's what this piece is. So you can see we want this left bottom side. So when we cut this, we are going to put our 2 ends. So that corner and that corner, and then double check the top. Make sure you've got it exactly diagonal. And then you're just going to cut. Now, this would be very easy to make 2 cards because you're going to have the flip-flop of them. So we're going to do that. But before we do that, we're also going to do a diagonal, as you can see here, for the front. And it's going to be at the top of that score line and going to the end. So I'm just going to move my ink there for a minute. Hello, ladies. So at the top here, and then going down to that score line there. So you got to kind of keep checking top, bottom, because they do tend to move. I think we got it now. Go down, and let's just double check. Did we get it right? Yep. Snip. All right. I think that's it for the cutter for now. Now we got 2 pieces. See, we can use for a different card. But here we have the basics. Oh, I should fold it the other way. So it doesn't look very fancy right now. This is the love of our joy of our designer paper, because wow, what a difference when we add our designer paper. So that's the basic. And then we have several different pieces here. So DSP, you have 2 that you're going to cut out at 4 and, where did I put it? I thought I would do something different. So I have this new corrugated um, embossing folder. And I know we used to have a very large one, and I personally didn't like the large one. However, I really like the small. So if you choose to emboss it, it will just add a little bit more texture. And so that's what I did there. The only thing is now we do have to, in order to put this on the front, we need, oh, my trimmer. We put the trimmer back up here, and we are going to, so again, we want this piece. So you're going to want to have this angled in here. I pre-cut everything just to make it go a little bit faster for you. But here we're going to cut this like this. So again, there's another piece for another card. Oops. Okay. Now I should show you the paper. This is with the beautiful butterfly. And this paper here, look at the beautiful colors, and you get that dotted look, which is so beautiful. And look at the variation of colors. Gorgeous, gorgeous. This has personally been my favorite, and I'm almost used up. So we have my next favorite of the purples. So what we're going to do here is now we are going to take this piece and we're going to adhere that onto the front. Okay. Whoops. Big blotch there. Am I on camera? Don't want to be out of sight. Okay. So we're going to put that there. And definitely use the glue when it comes to this 3D embossing folder, because it definitely gets in those grooves. So there we go. Isn't that cool? It just adds so much more to your card by doing it that way. Now I'm going to show you what she matched is, so we have this one now going in the inside. So this piece is going to go here. I mean, it's really wherever you want, but I'm kind of sticking to the way she did it because I really like how she had the colors of the different designer paper. So this one we want to put in here. And oh, I didn't tell you this size. This size is 1 by 5 1/4. And again, you're using two different patterns of the designer paper. And so this is actually the same size, 1 by 5 1/4. And we are going to just put that on this side then. So again, you want to just make sure you have a nice kind of border all the way around both of those. Okay, and then now what we're going to do is we are going to put one of these in here. So put that on there. Hope you ladies are doing well. Everybody excited spring is here, but we want to see real spring and sunshine. At least if you're here on the West Coast, we definitely have had a lot of rain. Okay, that is that for now. Now, she did leave, and I am going to leave. Let's get this in here. This flap just by the cardstock. Oh, I didn't even tell you. This is my favorite one of my favorite Fresh Freesia cardstock, and I absolutely love that color. And if you have special colors that you like, or you have are low on certain ones, Stampin' Up! Is having to raise the prices for cardstock. So you definitely want to be able to grab that while you can at the lower price. So definitely be sure to do that. And I'm going to just go over here and put my website where you can find my online store as well. All right, I'm going to move that out of the way. We're going to deal with that one, the inside flap. Oh, I didn't even show you what goes inside, but we're just going to work on this for now. So here we've got this. You can see you've got this beautiful flower here. And so you want to use a big stamp. So I was thinking, looking at my stamps, the loveliest tree would make a beautiful, and if you wanted to make it a masculine card, that would look really pretty on there. Or how about the burger? That would look really cool on there as well. Or actually, even this one with talk about springtime with the nest. So many different ones that you could do. And I decided to do one of, again, my favorite. I love this one in the mini catalog, the beautiful butterflies. And I thought that beautiful butterfly would look very pretty on the front. And so that's what we're going to do. And I am not going, again, I always like to show you different ways to do it. Now, Sue used the blends, of course, which are absolutely beautiful, and she colored those. I actually am going to do it a little bit differently. Again, just to give you more ideas, and we are going to use the fresh freesia. And of course, we're going to use the giant. I mean, this die set or bundle is amazing. This is the one that actually makes butterfly cards, and you can cut out different butterflies and just do so many different things with it. I love the versatility of it. But in this case, we're going to take out the big butterfly, and this isn't a two-step stamp, but I tried something earlier, and it actually looked kind of cool. So I'm going to show you. We're going to flip it. So this isn't a two-step, but I'm going to make it a two-step. So we got a piece of white cardstock, and I'm going to open this up so we can ink up our stamp. And I am going to cover, so because it's a fairly big stamp, I'm going to take the stamp pad to the actual stamp. And I don't want to make it too dark, but I want to make sure that it's even. So if you can see here, see how there's no lines? If you get a line from where your stamp set is, go on it again because you want it to be nice and even. Maybe give it a huff and a puff. Okay, now we're going to put that down. You definitely want to go all around because when I did try it earlier, I ended up not pushing on one part of the stamp. And of course, then the ink didn't go down to the paper. And you can see I'm doing the stamping on my glass mat. That is always the absolute best is on a glass mat. In my temporary situation here, I'm in on a folding table. That's the worst because you will definitely get the waves of the table. And so you definitely need something very, very flat. Even the silicone mat or piercing mat won't help too much. Hello, Yvonne. Yeah, this is a cool, fun fold. I'm going to definitely make more of these. Okay, so let's lift this up. Okay, and now because we dirtied that side, we're just going to give this a wipe. Yeah, I'd be anxious. I know you've got the burger. I think you have the burger one, Yvonne. If you try that with this one, I think that would look really cool. Now, I thought of doing another color darker, but I'm going to stick to the same color. And I think it will work out just fine. So again, this when you're going this way, it's a little harder to see if you've got it all covered, but ink it up really good because the more ink you put on there, it will be a little darker. And especially because I didn't stamp off this image here, I did try and it just went way too light. So we are going to just hover over. That's the beautiful thing of our photopolymer stamps. And then I'm just going to press down real good and let it sit there for a minute. Get that ink on there. Okay, now lift. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, so much for it not being a two-step stamping. It worked. All right, so now we're just going to clean off my stamp pad or my ink on my stamp. And there is the die cuts, but this is just like so super easy. I am just, and then I don't have to go behind me to my machine. So I am just going to go all the way around. I know, Yvonne, you don't mind doing some fussy cutting, but those that don't, there are dies. There's just some of us silly people who like to do cutting. And because I did the two-step on this stamp, I'm not sure how, actually I should have checked. Maybe it wouldn't cut out the same. But I just want to go right where we did the reverse of this stamp. So we're going to just cut out here like this. Okay. So now we're just going to go around. That's probably the most tricky part that I just did. Okay. Almost done. But you definitely need something a little bit bigger, not just to fill the front, but you're going to see that this card actually has a little pocket to put a little inside card to insert it. And so because of that, and because we're stamping, you want to have something fairly big for that. Okay, so see now, I am probably going to take the butterfly and go this way. Because if I went this way, right? So, oh look, that looks silly. So I think I'm just going to angle it like this. Okay. Yeah, sorry, Leanne. Leanne will use the dies, right, Yvonne? Yes, for sure. Now, she did pop this, and she also did use a ribbon, and I thought that ribbon would look really pretty on that too. This is called the Iridescent. I'm reading. Am I reading? You know, it's just iridescent. It's a striped ribbon with the iridescent. It's very pretty. So we're just going to take a snip of this and cut it a little bit on an angle. Okay. And I am going to put that, let me just see where we're going to place this. We're going to put this, oh, everything's sliding. Not enough hands. There we go. I think like that. So I'm going to put it just in the middle. So I want this to go down a little bit more. So I am going to adhere that onto there. So I think I'm going to use a glue dot in this case. I should have done that before. Okay, fingers. I'm actually going to go this way. Oops, that's not where I wanted it. Oh boy. There we go. Okay, that's going to stick that one down on both sides. And now the glue dots on this side. Okay, so then we'll put that one there. And I am going to pop this. So we're going to, you enjoying being back in Canada, Yvonne? I bet you would like to have that sunshine a little bit more. Oh boy. All right. So we're going to just, so I put it purposely on top of the ribbon a bit so that we can have it stay there a little bit more in place. So we're going to take these guys off of here. Okay. All right. So now we're going to take our butterfly and oopsie. And don't do what I just did. Right. We forgot. We can't put it on this side. Oh boy. Oopsie. And Madeline rips it. Don't rip it. Don't put it there in the first place. There's a reminder. I'll show you the way not to do it. Only put it on half. There we go. All right. And now we're going to stick this down. We want the butterfly to be sure to stay on there. There we go. I miss the sunshine. Yeah, I'm missing the sunshine. Period. Oh boy. But yeah, especially if you were in that beautiful warm sunshine, that would be so hard to be away from it. Came back too early, I guess, this time. You just never know, do you? Okay, so now I'm going to put, so this is another thing. Which one do you think we should use? Should we use more butterflies and go with the brass butterflies? Those would look nice. We could use the pearl trio, or we could use iridescent gems. Ooh, oh boy. Okay, I'm going to leave a minute for you to tell me which one you think. Which one should we do? And then we're going to get ready to do the next step. So this is a card that goes inside. Where's our flap? Okay. So this piece now is going to go in here. So this is our flap. And that's why we had one more piece here. So this one, I forgot, we got to cut this diagonal too. And remember, we've got to cut it so it matches that way. So that point and this point, no, yep, we got it. Hold on to it, see it doesn't slide. Okay. So yeah, I guess you could probably even use this as a gift card holder too, probably. So multi-purpose. So here we have this piece. Now we're going to just put our glue or adhesive. And this one we will put glue all the way around. You're going to see the next one we are not going to do that because we don't want to stick it down. We want to make it into a pocket. So of course the designer paper we can stick down like that. Okay, and then this is the piece we are going to stick in here like that, right in the corner. So we only want, and I think just to make sure that it doesn't go anywhere else when it's in those situations, I like to use tear and tape. So if I can find the end of my tear and tape, we are going to stick that down. Just like that. Yeah, we got a little bit too long here. So we're going to snip this off. Snip this off. Okay. Press down and then peel it off. And then we're going to put one more on the bottom. Just like that. Oops. Okay, so now we make it into, this part isn't part of the fun folder, the flap, but it is a pocket, which makes it really cool. So now we're going to just put that, you see, right onto that corner. You could make a tag. Absolutely, you could. So many different things that you could do because now you've got this little pocket. And what she had done is just made it as to a little card, but obviously you could, like you say, you could do all kinds of different things. So the measurements for this is the DSP, oops, left the DSP, is the biggest piece, 4.5 by 3.5. And then you have a piece of your cardstock, which is 4.25 by 3.25. And then the piece of white, which is 4 by 3. Okay, so what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to adhere nothing onto the back of the designer paper, but we're going to put this one on here like that and center it. Okay, so it's like that. Now we are going to put the white, but I would recommend that you do your stamping first because then if you have to cut another piece of white, you can do that. So what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to use Time to Celebrate because this has even stamps or sentiments, I should say, that go with this set, which are pretty cool. And I have, it's Let's move all this out of the way here for a minute. I have my basic gray and I need a block. Okay. So I'm going to make this one into a birthday card. Yeah. And this would be great for a birthday to have a gift card, or, I mean, even if you were making a Christmas card, so many different ways that you could make this card. So we're just going to, so I'm using basic gray just because I don't want it too dark. And I'm going to put it like that. Okay, like that. Now I should show you that the one she did, because she was using garden green, she actually did the sentiment in garden green. So because I'm using a lighter color, I chose not to do that and just use the basic gray instead. But of course you could do that. So here, now we have that, but I'm going to put a little butterfly. Just have to decorate a smidge. This little guy, let's do this little butterfly. Let's get another little block. And our fresh freesia. Let's bring that in again. Just saw that corner. It looks kind of, don't want to put it up there. Let's see. Let's turn it down here. Ta-da! Okay. Now, that out of the way. Now we need our piece. We're going to adhere. Yeah, I don't think a hot cocoa. I was thinking sometimes you can put, but it would be too fat. You need something that's definitely thinner. But I think that would work. Okay. So here is our card, of course, that you could insert into there. Oh, it's going to show a bit, but that's okay. She was very thoughtful in how she had done hers, because, oh, see, I should have put mine down. I should have put my sentiment down lower. Ah, that's why she put it in the middle. Well, yeah. And if you don't like that, then you could put another piece of white on top of there. But let's see if we can push it in a little more. Nope, that's good. I'm okay with that. So now we need to put some sentiment or embellishments on. Anybody have an idea? You know what? What do you think? I think these are just so beautiful. I think we're going to try. I think we're going to put, let's see if it will work. Will it work on the corrugated plastic or corrugated DSP? It appears to be. So let's put one down here. And let's put a little guy. Where are we going to put him? How about we put him up here? There it is. Isn't that beautiful? So there's the difference depending on, oops, which one stamp set you use. You could use um, a whole variety of different ones. You can also, like I said here, use the embossing folder to make that different. And maybe you don't want to use the ribbon, but you can definitely use any kind of ribbon. And the designer paper, it's going to depend on what you are making and who you're making it for in terms of colors or whatever. So there we go. We've got this little pocket and card. So there you go, ladies. And I will post the measurements so that if you want to make this fun fold, you can make that fun fold. And I'd love to see what you make with it, because it's so good to get ideas from everybody else, depending on the stamp set and paper and everything. So thank you very much. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time, next week for Stampin' Live. All righty, bye-bye.